And here I am. Hello, 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 and welcome to Dear Dana. And hello out in the bushes. How are you doing? Tonight is the Guys Will Light Up. It is Guys Night to take over and get, we won't say AB. We will say, allowing the women to throw their questions at them. We won't say the AB word because there's been enough of that going on in the world and on the television and on the real media here on all the tubes because we know we see all of it on the tubes, on the social medias. Hello, Shelly Marie. How are you feeling? Because I noticed when I was trying to watch what was going on in court on the television, I wasn't getting all of the details. I wasn't seeing what was really going on. I had to go back to the tubes to see what was going on in court. They were only showing me pieces and parts on the television. That is the truth. I was like, hey now, hey now, hey now. You all are editing what you want the public to see. I'm not getting all the things. I'm not getting all the things. So I had to go back to the tubes. Good, Shelly Marie. Prayers of healing to you. We are missing the dudes. I'm waiting on them. I am waiting on the dudes and some more of the people. And I see people compiling in the bushes. I put my, I'm not going to say bat signal either. I put my butterfly signal or whatever you want to call it out in the ethers for people to start filing in. Because it's guys' night. And I'm trying to invite guys from all walks of life all over the world to start filing in on the panel. Because I'd like to hear different thoughts and opinions. Yes, I would. So, in the meantime, I am going to throw down the intro. I'm going to throw down the intro and see what starts happening. So, here we go. Here we go. Wrong one. Oh, yeah. All right. Almost hit the wrong one. Okay, folks. Where are you? I know it's a holiday weekend, and people are probably out on their boats, taking vacations, and all of that stuff. But I am patiently waiting for the guys to start filing in. Where are you, dudes? Where are you, dudes? It is Guys Light Up Night. I was given instruction to put it out there. I know they're not scared. Hey, there's Shoeless One. There's one of the guys. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. There's guy number one. Guy number one. There he goes. He had surgery recently on his knee. He is like the Energizer Bunny, and the universe said, hey, dude, we're going to slow you down. We are going to slow you down. Try to invite another guy. There's JC Bear. See if he wanted to come up. He said he wanted to see it a few times before he made a decision. I can understand that. No guy wants to get eviscerated before he comes on. There is Shoeless One. Hello, darling. Hey,
Good
kid.
morning.
How are you doing? How is your
Oh yeah, not bad. Got some sleep, so it's all right.
good? And there's that luxurious hair of yours.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't washed it yet, but yeah, start.
Well, I've learned in my over 100-year-old age, you're not supposed to wash your hair that often anyway. It keeps it healthier.
Yeah, and I don't use shampoo and conditioner on it anyway, so I just use Dove soap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to wash mine every day. Big mistake.
Yeah, it's not good for it.
No. So happy to see you, Miss Vintage. And there is Mr. JC Bear with his voice. You
Hello.
know.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Are we talking about food?
Not yet, not yet.
Mr. JC
I'm
on
gonna,
his cooking channel.
that's true. I'm gonna rat somebody out. He already had a whole bunch of snacks to watch
Yeah,
the champions soccer tournament. So
we lost. We lost. Congratulations to Real Madrid. We lost.
Oh no.
But it's alright. There's always next year.
That's all right, Mr. JC O'Barrow.
oh, that's fine. But he had his snacks and he had his his, his yelling. Did you yell?
Yeah, I had my sock ready to put in my mouth. Yeah, yeah, I did good.
Do you have a bear?
Well, when the ref keeps making calls that are wrong, you're going to have something to stick in your mouth so you don't wake up everyone else in the house.
That
It's like
sounds
three
dangerous the
o'clock in
way
the
you're
morning.
talking.
Yeah,
Sticking things in your mouth.
yeah, socks. Socks work really well.
I think it's because you were yelling at the ref or yelling at the fans for delaying the game.
Oh, God, I know, it's shocking as. Couldn't believe it.
Did
Oh
you
yeah,
hear Shelly Marie? She said you should use shampoo, not soap, for your hair.
No, no, my head turns into like, those big hay brooms, the straw brooms that you get.
Yeah?
And whenever I use shampoo and conditioner, it turns into like this big mat of straw hair, and it's just like nah. Soap works really well.
You probably shouldn't brush it. You probably should comb it.
Yeah, I don't do either. It's great.
I can't brush mine.
people with options. Really, really.
If I put a
Yeah,
brush through my hair, do you know how big it would be?
yeah.
My hair would be really huge.
no sympathy for those of us who are follically challenged. No sympathy.
I'm sure
No,
you have
Yeah.
a lot of hair elsewhere,
that's
JC.
true. I am a furry little devil, but not on my back. But not on my back, and not on only a little bit on my shoulders, but not on my back. And that it's all like in the appropriate places where they should be. That is correct.
I like
well,
furry chest.
yeah, I clip them on.
You clip the three hairs on your chest. Aw.
Yeah.
Aw. It's like when I clip the three hairs on my head.
Yeah. Yeah, having an
Aw.
alfalfa moment.
Hopefully, there will be more finally in the chat. It's a little lean tonight. I'm not used to seeing it this lean.
Well, it's beautiful weather up here, I can tell you that much. It's like there's a nice breeze. It was clear. It was dry. It was sunny. Like there's a lot of people out enjoying the patios.
Well, it's
Like, and just
Memorial Day weekend in the U.S.,
true. So, people could be going out of town or at parties or barbecues.
except for me.
You don't like barbecues?
I do, but it's a Memorial Day weekend, and you see where I am. I am on the YouTubers.
Ah, you're doing the YouTube streets
I
and
have
all the fun.
been stuck and glued to this whole case for 6 weeks.
For Depp and Heard.
Yeah. I should have been
There's
an attorney.
so many people have been Team Depp. So many from what I've heard. Plus, Shoeless is also celebrating a new Labour government.
A what?
A new Labour government in Australia.
Explain.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Shoeless.
Yeah, we've got a new government. Yeah, new Prime Minister of Australia.
Do
Let's
you
see
like
how it
him?
goes. I don't know. Until just recently, being I don't worry too much about politics. I probably didn't know much about him, to be honest, I suppose. So it's one of those things where it's like, we'll just give him time now, see what he actually does. He's already put in a request to the Treasury, I think it was, to increase the Australian minimum wage. So, which is good. He's setting out to try to make sure that people are actually getting something to cover the bottom line. That's good.
Is he good looking?
Nah.
Nah. Okay.
Nah.
But from what I've been informed, he grew up in a single-parent household.
Yep.
He grew up on what we call community housing up here.
Correct.
So he has come through the existing system. So he has experiences in other areas of life that he could hopefully bring into politics to make other people's lives easier.
Yeah, and that for me is quite exciting because we spent time in that system as well. So yeah, I know what it's like. So yeah, no, it'll be good to see what he can do and hopefully inspire people to that say they can't get a job while Australia is in the lowest unemployment record in in the last 30 years of our history. And there's still so much work available out there. He might be the inspiring factor that they need to get up and give things a go. So
that sounds good.
And we go to the polls here in our province June 2nd. So it's going to be interesting to see what's actually going to be, whether or not the Conservatives will get ousted, whether it be minority government, what's going to be happening. So it's going to be interesting up here. So many of my friends are still kind of torn on which way to vote. So it will definitely be interesting. Vintage, you can have anything on a barbecue. You can skewer vegetables and barbecue them. Chicken, it's all good. A little bit of, maybe a little steak or a little sausages or hot dogs or, anything. It's just a matter of being outdoors. You got the grill going. Maybe have a nice beverage with you of your choice. It's all good.
What is something that you think a person wouldn't think about putting on a barbecue that is actually quite tasty?
Ooh.
Emu.
Fish.
Fish.
I would not think of ever having like barbecued fish, but if you were to wrap it in foil and season it and so forth, you could use a barbecue grill for it as well.
I have had salmon on a barbecue.
See, I haven't. I've always had it either grilled in the oven or I've been experimenting with the air fryer and it came out really, really nice. So, but I've never actually had salmon from the barbecue.
I've had it in tin foil with lemon around it and seasoned just right in tin foil.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like poaching it on the grill.
And I've had big shrimp on the grill.
You're going to get hungry,
Skewered? Like the shrimp skewered? Yes, that would be that. I think a lot of seafood gets bypassed when it comes to barbecue time. You always think of more of the meats and so forth. But I mean, grilled vegetables come out really nice on the barbecue as well. So vegetarians, don't be shy. Skewer up those items, the onions, the peppers, all of those items that you can put on the grill, and you can still partake and have fun.
Oh yeah, and people look those little things that you pull out of the dandelions.
Hmm.
Look, don't overlook dandelions in your garden.
Oh yeah, my grandmother used to the little yellow leaves and all
The,
that. They were
the,
thrown in the salads.
and the roots. Listen, you can pull the roots up out of the garden and clean them well, cut them up, toast them in the oven, take them out, flip them over, toast them again, and make coffee out of it. Or you can toast them
Mm,
in the grill, and it
I'd ha-
smells like chocolate.
I would have to experience it before trying it myself.
It smells like chocolate. Some people say popcorn, but you can make a coffee out of it.
That's one long hair.
Oh my goodness. Is that what happened to you in the hospital, Sheila?
Yeah, they cut off some Sheila's hair and gave me an extension.
Oh my goodness. You are like a Barbie doll.
Yes, but he's not supposed to be jumping around at yelling at soccer games when he's still recovering, are you?
Yeah, as long as I sat down, so I did my best.
That's true.
I did my best.
Mhm.
It nearly works.
Oh my God. It's like Gwendolyn, Gwendolyn, let down your long hair.
So that's how you would look like in a rock band with really long hair and a pony.
If I hadn't have cut my hair off 3 years ago, my hair would actually be this length by now, if not
But would
longer.
it be that thick and shimmery?
Yeah,
We need
yeah,
proof. We need proof.
yeah, yeah. I'm probably a bit more of a strawberry blonde than somebody else.
So did you guys watch any of the Depp trial?
I only had bits and pieces, and then from what other people had kind of summarized and given. So it was interesting. Um, Not really buying dear old Amber. Uh, I mean, parts of the clips I heard was like, "Oh, I've never seen a man cry." Okay, so she didn't know how to react to all that. I'm like, how old are you? And what do you mean you've never actually seen a man cry? It just some of it was like and that's when I went, okay, this is just ridiculous,
Oh,
just
it goes
ridiculous.
far and deep and wide, far and deep and wide, to the point that you could see where she constructed a lot of what went on.
I can believe it.
Hello, hello, Ladybug.
Oh, the little coccinelle, French for ladybug,
And tiny ladybug.
a tiny ladybug.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Leanne.
I'm put on the keyboard, she'll start touching it.
Oh my God, the cat has beautiful blue eyes, but is not
Meow,
impressed.
meow, 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 meow.
The cat is not impressed.
Oh, let her down.
Definitely not impressed.
Put her down, drop.
It's out to jury now, but I felt really sorry for her attorneys because it was to the point that she was how do I say it? She was almost indefendable.
Yeah, like how do you relate to someone like that? And if you're in the jury, how would you relate to her?
That's why, I mean, because she was, after he took her back to court, and I see why he did it because all of these years he was a super, super private person. And by the time she did that, He had no option because he has kids, he has a ex-partner. He's I mean, he's not perfect. He has done drugs and alcohol, but short of that, everyone that has known him to be very kind and generous. He grew up with a mother that was very abusive
Hmm.
to the extreme. So he'd already been through that once. And he had a kind father overall that walked away from it. And he'd promised he was never um, going to harm other people. So he'd gone to the extreme not to, right? So in order not to, I mean, to get his life back, and also because his kids had to deal with all this, he decided he was going to fight for himself and for them. So he filleted his life open and came out of privacy after being a private person. He had nothing to lose anymore because he'd lost everything. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He'd already lost everything. But she, oh my geez. And one of the things, someone came forward in a place they stayed that actually owns the property and owned the places. It was like a trailer park, but not. It was a trailer. Trailers were on the property, but it was a place where people vacationed and the land was nice and stuff. The man actually came forward because he saw things that were described on Twitter that never happened, saying Johnny had done certain things that he never did. So he came forward just to speak the truth. She had the nerve to say he was never there and he didn't exist.
People are really delusional when trying to produce their own narrative.
Yeah, look, Vantage says, I think it was Hicksfield. Yeah, he was the owner of the fancy trailer park. And she goes, how would he know? He was never there. After he had been flown out, after he flew out there only to speak the truth, and that was it, just to testify and speak the truth. And he turned around and went back home. And she was like, how was he there? He was, I mean, how does he know? He was never there. I never saw him. And the guy owned the place.
Again, there's a lot of people that go into their own denial just to push their own narrative, and they will block out a lot of the truth that's before them. But there was the man. Okay, the owner would have nothing to gain by doing that.
Bingo!
Nothing to gain to fly himself out there, testify, and then fly back. Like, what's he going to gain?
He had sold the place by then and had owned another place. No longer was affiliated with the place. He had
He's,
nothing. You're right. It wasn't even advertisement for it.
yeah,
He did.
he'd have nothing to gain. He's not going to all of a sudden be part of Johnny Depp's inner circle. So it's kind of like sometimes that's the thing. Sometimes when you hear enough BS, you're like, okay, that I know for a fact that never happened, or I know for a fact that's not how it played out. So you got to step up and actually do the right thing.
She got caught in the line because she sold photos and videos to TMZ. She called TMZ so they would be there the minute she walked out of the courthouse with a restraining order and told them which side to look for to take a picture with the faked injury.
Oh
She
my
got
God.
busted because an ex-employee from TMZ came and testified. It was like she kept getting busted after busted after busted. So now the jurors are they got the weekend off, so starting Monday again they'll be in the place to decide.
Sequestered?
Yeah. Well, they're not sequestered.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah, because it's not a criminal case, it's a civil case.
Yeah, but they would have like, how do you turn off everything and all the commentary that's been going on about it
The judge
from
said they're
all
not
over the world?
allowed to look at televisions,
Mobile
computers,
phones, nothing.
phones, or talk about it with anybody.
How are you going to do that if you live at home with a
That's what I want.
family?
That's what I want you guys to discuss.
It would be very difficult because, okay, I can't watch TV or I can't access social media. And fine, I'm living at home. I can control that.
And you can't
Whether I
talk about the
would,
case with anybody.
yeah, well, yeah, it's oh, that's going to be a double decker. But how are you going? How are you going to, if you live with a family or your partner or your spouse and kids, especially teenagers or young adults, how are you not going to have something come through? Like that's so unrealistic to me.
How?
Completely unrealistic.
That's what I was. I mean, the ages. They say some of them are 20, 30, some of them are a little older. They let two of the members go. Hey, Virginia Wolf. Virginia, you want to come up on the panel? Since you are an avatar anyway, you don't have to show your face. I sent you an email. I'm going to drop the link in case you want to join, because you're a guy. You're welcome to
Yeah, come on, Virginia, come up.
Come on, Virginia Woolf.
We're trying to figure out how the jury is unable to be exposed to any of the detail. He said, no,
Virginia Woolf.
Virginia!
Don't make me post your cooking. Your cooking. I'll post your cooking dishes on Dana's. Come on up. Don't be shy.
He didn't check. He just woke up.
Yeah, so
nobody will see your face.
Yeah, just come in with your avatar.
I was going to say, dude, everyone has to see my face. You can come up. You'll be safe.
At least I went out and I got cleaned up today. Got new, got the beard done, got the lid shaved down.
I had my first shower in 5 days this morning. It's great.
You can just use your voice. But anyway, I got to thinking, let's say there's family members in the house and they start talking about it. Do they admonish them and say, no, you can't talk to me. You can't talk in front of me about it? Or do they listen?
It'd be almost impossible.
Yeah.
Almost impossible.
Have either of you ever been involved in a jury?
I have.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have. Wasn't a massive big case. Now, there's a way you've got to look at it. If, say, for argument's sake, a jury member decides to go out and on social media and one of the millennials and they get caught on videoing that they've gone and made comments about the case. Do you know that they have to start the case all over again?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the rest of those jurors are going to be wanting to go through that all over again? I think for the sanity of their lives and their families and all the rest of it, I can imagine anyone would be that stupid.
Would they just kick the juror off and put a substitute in there? Because they have two backups that are at home.
That's correct. Yep. Only takes two people to turn around and get caught for that whole jury to have to be disbanded, and then they have to do the whole trial again.
Mm-hmm.
Alternates, yeah, Queen of O'Hare. There's two alternates at home.
Yep.
Shelley says only 2 or more people from the jury probably will abide by the rules, but not the majority.
Yeah. Oh, look, let's face it. You've got a long weekend over there. Hey, how long have these people been stuck going to the same place every day, listening to
6
a whole
weeks?
heap of hoo-ha?
6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
I think after that you deserve a beer in anyone's language.
Gotcha.
I mean, just going to the grocery store, the magazines are plastered with this whole thing.
Yeah.
With topics.
just on your news feed alone, on YouTube, any of the
Yeah.
news feeds, Twitter,
Absolutely.
Instagram, any of the other social media platforms. I don't know about Twitch and Snapchat and all them, but there's always one or two items that come up every couple of hours about, this is what Heard says, or this is what, so and so lied, or this was it just automatically comes up. So unless you're going to take away their laptops, take away their phones, I just don't see how they're able to shut it out. The only way is if they were sequestered into hotel rooms. The channels or whatever, they can only watch vids or movies, but no outside news info. That's the only way they could actually have everything blocked out.
Now, I don't know where the jury went at the end of the night. I don't know if they kept them in a hotel or if they got to go home.
Oh, normally they get kept in hotels
But
for cases like that.
I'm
Like the big
assuming
places,
they're going
yeah.
home. They're going home for the holiday.
Yeah, it's hard to know. It depends on. I think if it was a criminal case, they would 100% kept them holed up in a hotel. But as Leanne's saying, I think from what I heard as well, I think they all got to go home, which it's not. We're not talking about something for the sheep stations. You know what I mean? Like, as Reed's just said, the jury went home every night. You can't expect for 6 weeks that people that have been elected to be part of a jury to give up everything about their lives. 6 weeks, that's a long time.
Rita said they got to go home. They weren't sequestered. Rita said they went home every night.
Yeah.
So they were local in Virginia. But, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, this is a difficult case for sure. But there may have been some leaning toward Amber in the beginning, but I just can't see it now.
I think that evaporated. I think that evaporated along the way.
I just don't see any hope of her getting anything on her side of the case whatsoever.
I think the young fella that works for TMZ should become a lawyer. I thought he was fantastic.
Did you see that, JC Bear?
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, geez.
I've got to show everybody that.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. Hold on.
It was so good, JC.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
To be honest, it was one of my favourite parts of the whole thing.
Okay, we've got to share. It was just, it'll go down in history for sure.
Yeah, it was gold. Absolutely gold.
This is where he testified now. He didn't give away the source, but, it's logical. It's logical who the source is.
Were you aware of that? No. No. If you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection, false speculation. Sustained. That's correct.
I'm not aware.
Okay. You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame. doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
I can ask that question.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. So you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
a little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection calls for speculation.
Were you aware of that?
Lack of foundation.
Overruled if you can answer it.
Can you restate the question?
Were you
Understand.
aware that Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys were aware that Amber Heard was going in to seek a TRO on May 27th?
I don't think I understand the question. I don't think so, no.
Okay.
It's kind of a
Do you
complicated
know whether Blair Burke, one of Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys, had a very close relationship with TMZ at that time?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled. If he knows.
I was not aware of that.
Okay. And when you said that you were dispatched twice, once to film Amber in a parking lot for the deposition, and then it didn't work out, and so you had to do it another time.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my God.
They were just struggling
Reaching.
hard
Reaching.
because she was dispatched. I mean, he was dispatched a million times before she would get to the courthouse, before she'd get to TRO, when she was about to get off a plane. When he was slamming cabinets, did you ever see that video?
Yeah.
No.
He was slamming cabinets because his mother just died, or he just got a phone call because $650 million was missing out of his account.
I'd be doing more than slamming cabinets. Either one.
And so she goes in there and slips in with the laptop and starts egging him on about it. And he was like, "Did anything happen to you?" "I think not. It happened to me." And he pours a glass of wine, and she's egging him on and slipping with a laptop trying to video him, and then walks away kind of sniggering. 15 minutes later, TMZ has the video.
Yeah. If you can't trust the person you're living with, yeah. Come on.
And then they own it. So it came straight from her.
Yeah, because because for TMZ or any other news body to actually get ownership of something, it has to come from a direct source.
Especially for it to get out that fast.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
So the guy came in and explained that to them, so it was evident it came from her. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to say it without saying it.
Yeah.
And that way it protected the source, and TMZ couldn't sue him.
True, but it's also, I mean, it's fairly obvious without stating it. If something happened one day and suddenly you see this private video, like how many people would have access to that area of the house and that person,
Exactly.
and would know what to do with the video, and who to contact, and who to provide it to, and probably make some cash off it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like whatever sympathy Amber Heard thought she had, that's gone.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody, when you start looking at all of these pieces of her personality and the way her mode of operating, it's like, no, you were in there for other purposes other than a relationship. So,
Yeah. It was just, they caught her in so many lies. It was crazy. Crazy. But, somebody asked how many men are in there. They let a lady and a man go. So I don't know how many women are still left. There's mostly men on the jury. So I don't know. I think that Virginia Woolf was leaning more toward Amber at first. Now he sees why people are on Depp's side. He heard Depp screaming at one time. Well, shoot. Stephen and I don't scream at each other, But look, I've been known to scream in an argument before. In my first marriage, to scream back when I thought I wasn't being heard, but I'm not a screamer. But I was in a very ABUSE marriage, the first one. But I yelled back in my first one, and I was not the ABUSEer. Stuff happens when you have hit your bitter limit and someone has taken you to that point.
Oh yeah, I've raised my voice in several matters between friends, between people I've been dating in the past, stuff like that. It's like because sometimes when you feel like either you haven't been heard or someone's trying to gaslight you and you know it, sometimes that's the only way to snap them out of like, I'm not playing your game anymore.
Especially
And
if you're not
go
a
ahead.
physical person.
Yeah. I think it's better to raise your voice than to act physical towards somebody, unless it's only in a defensive mode. But I think it can be totally natural to raise your voice.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, did they bring up Doggate in the court case?
What'd you say?
Did they bring up Doggate in the court case?
Doggygate or Doggate.
Yeah,
Yes.
Doggate.
Yeah. Amber Turd.
Yeah. They bring it up in the court case?
Yeah. They showed photos.
Yeah. So, bring in, and this is the crazy part about it is, bringing your dogs on a private plane into another country, not quarantined, no approval, no anything, and he's the one that has to turn around and apologise on behalf of his wife's choices, and she still tries to make him look like a bad person. Like, he got smashed by the media over here, absolutely belted. Barnaby Joyce, who was he was the minister at the time in that department. He ran him up and slammed Johnny over that whole thing. Like, you guys have no idea how bad it looked for him from a PR point of view, and she just got to keep her nose clean. He took the fall for that whole thing, and back then, so that was what 2015, I think it was. Back then, I sat there and I thought, man, you're one hell of a bloke for taking the heat for that one, because that could have seen him being banned for life, being able to come back to Australia for any movies. And he took the heat, so she could still have the capacity of being able to not have any faults against her. Her career took off and ended up having to do stuff over here. It was so I sat there and I looked at that back then and I thought, man, you're one heck of a brave guy, because Barnaby Joyce, unfortunately, is a bit of a meathead anyway, and his ego was bigger than the checks he could write. But he went to town on him, and so my thoughts was, when this whole thing blew up the way it did, and then for it to end up in case, I thought she's got a heck of a short memory, considering what she did to his reputation over here because she couldn't abide by another country's laws. So.
And I hear now that Australia is back after her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when all of this is said and done, the FBI in Australia is back after making her pay for the issues.
Yep. Yeah, because there's a bit of money outstanding on that too. She'll probably get Elon Musk to pay for that.
And see, Aquaman was supposed to be doing some filming there.
Yeah, correct.
But here's also the other thing. I mean, like, if you've ever traveled outside of your own country, you know that laws in different countries may be the same but different. But Australia and New Zealand have always had, even when I went there a few decades ago, very strict quarantine laws on what you can bring into the country. Even between New Zealand and Australia, there are strict quarantine items on which, traveling. I've traveled to both countries. And, if you're caught, I said, you can easily be bounced right back and fined and the whole bit. So, does she think she's above it all?
Yep.
Does she
Absolutely.
have all of this, supposed privilege? And I'm not talking about white privilege, I'm talking about this elitism privilege.
Period.
Yeah, that, oh, I can be exempt from this because I'm so and so. It's like another aspect of being completely delusional, or I don't know if that's part of being a narcissist or whatever, that it doesn't apply to me. Oh, even if I do it, I can get away with it. That type of stuff. It's like, it just astounds me because it is so well known when you're traveling to countries like Australia, New Zealand, and a few others. Like, you can't just take a puppy along. They have to be quarantined and
Yeah.
their shots and all that. Used to be 6 months, but I don't know if it's longer than that. So it's just like the audacity of being that. Okay, I'm just going to say that idiotic. It's like, I just shake my head. And again, something like that doesn't really endear me to believe anything else coming out of her mouth.
A psychologist on there diagnosed her. She did a range of testing, and she used it. At home, I'd already told my husband because I diagnosed her with borderline unofficially. But Dr. Curry did a range of testing, and she used to instrument the MMPI, among other things. And you can't trick the MMPI. It's got like 500 questions on it. And she couldn't trick it if she wanted to. But anyway, she was, by Dr. Curry, she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. And she did a value of danger, danger characteristics. And she was high on all of those. High.
Oh, wow.
So she has the attitude, along with narcissism, that people should do what she wants. She doesn't care. And she had an assistant that testified for Johnny because her assistant, Kate James, when she was asking for a raise because Amber didn't pay her enough, and Amber didn't like that and spat in her face.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I was going to say as well. So going to Newsweek, which is one of our newspapers over here, from the 5th of so the 11th of this month. It's saying that that it looks like here in Australia we're looking at, because of all the stuff that's come out, that Australia looks like that we're probably going to be looking at charging her with perjury here.
Whoa.
And I think the same thing's going to happen in the UK as well now too.
What is UK getting her for?
Because some stuff happened over there as well. I think Rita brought it up before as well. So some stuff happened over in the UK a few years ago as well while they were together. So that's.
Is that going to be because of? That's going to be because of the son, because she told the son when she got the $7 million from Johnny that she was going to donate it to the children's hospital and to the what was the other one that Elon gave it the money to, but she didn't. Somebody tell me the other charity. Hey Jenny, I know it, but I can't think of it.
Hey, Shelley, Rita, Leanne, Jenny. Just
What was
catching
the
up. Hey, Vintage.
other charity she was giving money to somebody? She kept saying that she pledged and said it was the same thing as donating, but it's not.
No. Pledge means, at some point I'm going to give you something, and to actually empty out your bank account is another. They're completely different.
Leanne says ACLU, but I thought that they're the ones that wrote her op-ed.
Okay. Elon gave part of the money to the ACLU in her name, and the children's charity got a tiny bit of money, but that was it. Tiny, like a few $100,000, right? And she never donated the rest of the money. She kept it.
Yeah.
But the money that was given to both charities was not from her whatsoever.
Oh, and Rita's just brought up as well that she definitely lied in court in England when they had a court case over there and stuff. So yeah, I reckon she's going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, one of the main reasons they filed in her favor on the Sun case over in the UK because she was donating all of the money, or so she said.
Yeah.
Oh, girlfriend's gonna be in big trouble.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. How are they going? Okay, if I'm in another country and I want to file against an American citizen,
I don't know.
like, does it automatically, will the U.S. release her into English or Australian or British and Australian lawmakers to face it, or can she just skip to somewhere else and just kind of stay there?
I don't know.
See, I think with a lot of it, you'll find number one will be step back into the country and you'll be arrested. So that'll be number one. So she won't be able to travel to the UK. She won't be able to travel to Australia. She probably more than likely won't be able to travel to New Zealand as well because of our bilateral laws that we have between the two. And so try to go into one of those countries, she'll get arrested from the minute she arrives in the country, and then she'll have to face charges in that country that she goes to. When it comes to you'll probably find that most governments probably won't waste their time on dealing with America to say we want to bring her to our country to actually charge her. They'll basically just sit there and go, nah, we'll just wait for you to come to the country. When you arrive, we'll grab you. Because you can't get through customs. You can't get into Australia without getting through customs. And if you're red flag, you'll just go straight to one of the rooms and you'll be processed straight away. So she won't get through.
Knowing her, she'll change her appearance and her name.
Well, yeah.
True.
Yeah, well, best of luck to that because she'll probably try to turn up on a private plane. She won't be on a domestic flight. So that'll really create a problem for Warner Brothers in regards to Aquaman 2, unless they then shift all the whole thing back to America to try to appease the scenario. But I don't think she'll have that much of an influence.
Well, they've already filmed it, and they say they've already torn it down to 10 minutes, her part in it, and that the problem was she didn't have chemistry with Momoa.
Who couldn't have chemistry with Jason Momoa?
But
I tell you,
He's a bit of a man, isn't he? Yeah.
I mean, man or woman, straight or gay or whatever. I mean, he seems like a fun dude.
Yeah. But they're saying that it didn't have anything to do with Johnny Depp. The big guy from the movie place,
From Disney.
Yeah, said that it wasn't because of Johnny Depp, that it was because she didn't have chemistry with Jason Momoa that affected her appearance on Aquaman.
Well, they already said in number one in the original stuff that she was doing that they made her recast for the position because they were worried about the chemistry after the first one she was involved in.
I don't even remember her in the first one.
I know faintly, right? She's not a good actress. She may be attractive, but she's not. She's pretty, but I've seen more beautiful actresses, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale. Say no more.
Oh, yeah. And this is the thing, is that I swear, just from the comments from the members and you guys filling me in, she has deluded herself into thinking she is more than what she is.
Gal Gadot, to me,
is
more beautiful than her. The one that plays Wonder Woman?
Oh, yeah. Gal Gadot, she's from Israel.
Yeah.
And that woman knows how to fire, knows how to use weapons. You know,
Yeah, she's been
she's had
trained.
military training. I mean, she was also Miss Israel.
I mean, I think she's gorgeous.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, I just can't. I just can't believe she's deluded herself into thinking that this is going to enhance her career or her profile in any positive way. In any positive way.
In the chat, what do you ladies want to ask Sam? You know, I was curious about, did Amber's attorneys Rottenborn and Elaine actually think she was innocent? I mean, I know they had to defend her. But I
No,
was
she just wanted her
curious.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, as her attorneys. I mean,
Yeah.
for them, they may not have looked at it as a fight for, you know, a fight for females or a fight for or to prove that her innocence, but a cash cow case, high profile. Their names are all around the world.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Let me show you a killer attorney, though. Let me show you a killer attorney, a few minutes of one. If you haven't seen Camille, you've got to see this. This is Johnny Depp's attorney. She is an assistant DA. When this case is over, I bet you they push
She'll be
her
a court
on.
judge. She'll be a court judge in 5 years.
She is incredible. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's like watching a movie.
Miss Heard would take low blows and hit him where it hurts. Children. Mr. McGivern told you that on March 3rd, 2015, Miss Heard threw things at Mr. Depp, spat at him, and ultimately punched him in the face, leaving him with a shiner. You heard testimony from Malcolm Connolly, another security member, who testified he saw Miss Heard throw things at Mr. Depp, a cigarette lighter on a plane, a soda can from upstairs at the Eastern Columbia building. He never saw marks on Miss Heard, but he saw marks on Mr. Depp. Scratches, bruises on his left eye, scratches on his left ear. He took pictures documenting injuries like this one. You also heard from Tara Roberts, a manager at Mr. Depp's Island, who witnessed Miss Heard telling Mr. Depp that he was washed up and would die fat and lonely. You also heard from Miss Roberts that she witnessed Miss Heard clawing and grabbing at Mr. Depp, grabbing his hair, trying to pull him back to her, and Mr. Depp had a visible injury to his nose on that occasion. Most importantly, you heard from Miss Heard yourselves on multiple audio recordings, admitting to being physically violent with Mr. Depp. You heard Miss Heard admit to hitting Mr. Depp.
And then you fucking talk.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing. And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor...
You didn't mean to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember, I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean?
The door? No, God, no, I didn't.
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry I hit you. I did mean to hit you, but it was in response. I just reacted in response to my foot. I just reacted.
You heard her admit it again and claim Mr. Depp was a baby for complaining about the abuse.
And I watched you lie, and then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights. You've been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but your fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
Did you start
Johnny.
physical fights?
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did, so I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable.
Take a minute to really think about what you just heard there. Quote, I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, that I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched. Imagine that was Mr. Depp saying that to Miss Heard on that recording. Let's play one more.
That fake laugh. That fake laugh is too much to take.
No, I'm sure she's.
That fake laugh is so disgusting.
I'm sure she's great.
I'm thinking that you can give me some
No.
of the best performances in
No,
the
no, you're right. I don't. It's all about
No, I'm right. I don't regret. I don't regret.
Oh, what else? What else are you? Oh, come on.
I don't
Be-
regret. No, I
Come
don't
on.
regret.
Lay it on me. What else? What else other things you want to add?
Can't talk to
You
you
fucking
anytime.
lying piece of
Positive.
shit. What? Oh,
Take
no,
a
I
picture.
want to know. I want
Get out of your Uber drive.
gonna wait. Go get it.
Yeah, I'll be in the
Wait, is there no other place for you to run in your 1,500 houses to go run? Come on, go be a real married man. Go deal with your shit the way that a man does. Go run to the next house. Every man does.
Yeah.
Go. Run away.
This is the real Miss Heard, the one in the audio recordings, not the one you saw in this courtroom. What you didn't hear on a single recording you heard in this case, and there were many played by both parties, is Mr. Depp ever admitting to hitting, punching, or kicking Miss Heard. You didn't hear it. It doesn't exist. It didn't happen. And despite the fact that Mr. Depp and Miss Heard are heard discussing many of the alleged incidents you've heard about at this trial, like Australia and the Bahamas, you never heard Miss Heard accuse Mr. Depp of sexual assault. Unlike Mr. Depp, who you heard admit to and own up to his past mistakes and his struggles, particularly with drugs and alcohol, Ms. Heard will not admit that she has ever done anything wrong. But she cannot deny what you heard on those recordings. As much as Ms. Heard and her lawyers have tried to make this case about Mr. Depp's language, it is Ms. Heard that repeatedly admits to violence. By April and May of 2016, Mr. Depp had reached his limit. His mother was dying. His finances were a mess. And when he showed up late to Ms. Heard's 30th birthday party because a meeting with his new business manager, Edward White, had gone late, Ms. Heard, of course, was not understanding. She was furious. You heard from Mr. Depp, both in this courtroom and on audio recordings, that Ms. Heard punched him that evening. He left with Travis McGivern, and the next morning he learned that someone had left feces on his bed. Ms. Heard denies responsibility, but she admitted to the prank to Starling Jenkins. You heard him testify to that effect. For almost a month after that, they didn't see each other.
Well, anyway, I don't want to keep playing it, but you get the point.
Oh God, yeah.
It's running long. Now we gotta make that video stop.
Well, she's probably writing so that she looks more, attempting to portray herself as more intelligent or thinking about what was being said.
They keep saying she's not writing anything. But she would write notes to the attorneys behind her and keep giving them to them. And there's a joke about one of the attorneys being covered in sticky notes.
Oh my God. New internet memes coming out shortly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly, Rita. Exactly, Rita. Women like her make it twice as difficult for any other cases that would be coming up in future.
yeah, because if you go especially when you don't have a lot of money, if you were a female, to go to someone and say, this is happening to me, you're going to be looked at 2 or 3 times more because of what she's done.
Yep.
Yeah, for years it was the case of that that the pendulum had swung so far that as soon as a female said that they'd been hit, that the guy was instantly guilty in some countries. You know, it was like it was just taken away that in some respects guys' rights and their voice had basically diminished in a lot of Western countries. That they were just perceived as that they were a bad person if the word abuse was mentioned. And so, if anything, this is probably going to help to bring the pendulum back to the middle, where I suppose that guys now know it's actually safe to actually speak up again, instead of having to roll over and play dead, because that's been going on for quite some time now. But I feel sorry for women that are in situations of domestic abuse of any description, because unfortunately there's a lot of nasty blokes that are actually out there. But saying that as well, there's a lot of nasty females that are in lesbian relationships that can do as much emotional and physical damage to another lady as what a man can do. So it's I just hope, for the sake of for humanity, I suppose, out of this whole thing, that we get to see a bit of balance again. That that people's voices can be heard, and that that for everyone in general, that people start taking a bit more responsibility for their actions before they go blurting something out and defaming someone else for something that isn't true.
And here's the thing too, she had money. She had other places she could go. She had a property in California, right? So when you have money and you have that kind of fame, why not go away somewhere?
If you're in a situation like that and you have the means,
Yeah,
then you have the means to remove yourself from that situation,
right.
and then go and pursue it legally. And she failed to do that.
I mean, there's women out there that don't have the money, don't have a way. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's vastly different. So her trying to be a representative of people going through that, it's so disturbing.
It doesn't make sense, because the journey is so different for so many women and so many men when they're not part of an affluent section where they can remove themselves and get away, or may not have the emotional strength to do it. But so I don't know whether she was just trying to play the victim to be vindictive, because that's the way it's coming across to me when I hear stuff like that, is that I know what I can get away with under the law. I know I can use my gender. I know I can use this, and I'm going to make you pay because you are slighting me. And with her elitist attitude and privileged attitude, that's probably how she perceives it. How dare you do this to me? So I am going to make you pay because I know how to work the system to do it.
I mean, she's bisexual. She does target men that are in Hollywood and successful, in my opinion, as a therapist, to climb the Hollywood ladder. She studies them. She pulled a similar thing that she did to Johnny to Kevin Costner. When she was filming with him, she went to the trailer butt naked and tried to seduce him. And she was with Johnny.
Oh, Lord.
She was also with Franco, James Franco, during her marriage. She was with Elon. She was with some females. So this whole cycle of being with people occurred while she was with Johnny as well. And it's a Hollywood climbing thing. But she also told Johnny a secret, and allegedly, she came to Hollywood when she was 17, but she had her license taken away for 5 years. So allegedly, she got a DUI. She was in a car accident before she had her license with one of her best friends, and her drinking, and her best friend died.
Wow.
Oh.
So her license was taken away. And I think that's one of the things she made Johnny Depp swear not to tell anyone. So that's on her record. And her fight, her beating her ex-wife up, is on her record.
Lord.
Yeah. And she has these other issues. And now she's got a baby that she had by a surrogate a year ago.
Oh,
Well,
Lord.
financially, she's going to be able to at least bring up the child, but the problem is, how mentally capable is she going to be able to bring up a balanced child? That's my concern there.
That's concerning. And it's possibly Elon's.
Well, part of the concern is that it's a lovely thing with the, mother and child role, but what if she actually perceives the child to be a rival as she gets older? And that's going to just, it's just not going to be well.
That's been my concern.
Is that when it slips from a mother and daughter role or a mother and child role to this is another rival for the men in my life's attention. This is another rival for acting roles that I may be vying for. There's that. It's a really dark route to go to. And I pray to God that child does not have to endure it, but it's just something that popped into my mind. I'm like, oh God.
You are riding down that same road I am. I have concerns about it. I hope it has a nanny. I hope there's other support. Her mom was scared of her. Her mom died, a year or 2 ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, and it's something that it's like, hopefully there'll be other type of people that can be part of the child's life growing up that can kind of balance that out.
She has a sister, but she's been abusive to her sister too. I want her to get help. But the difficult thing is, and not for all people with borderline disorder, I'm not saying that, let me be clear. For anyone listening, there is treatment, but you have to want it. It's difficult to treat borderline disorder. It is. I'm not going to lie. But if people want it bad enough, you can treat it, and it's a lifelong thing.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly the thing, is that if you perceive yourself as not needing any help, if you perceive yourself as I'm fine, it's the rest of you that are out of line or not understanding, then how can you actually help someone like that?
Yeah. Rita, Donovan, I heard the same thing too. I don't know how true it is, but it seems very possible. But I heard the same thing too, that Whitney was a surrogate.
But wow, I can't believe we've already gone an hour and 15 minutes, and I must leave you guys.
I know
we were going down a whole bunch of different routes here. This is really interesting.
Please tell
I-
everyone your channel.
Oh, myself and another gentleman, Captain Unicorn, have basically a food channel. You know, the bear and his food. Yum, 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 yum. And it's called Cooking After Dark. Come take a view. If you like what you see, please subscribe and come join us. And if you are a amateur cook, and this goes for pies, cakes, you know I'm never going to pass up a dessert. Stop smiling, Shoeless. Stop.
Please put your link in the chat, please.
Okay. And just come on by, and partake. I mean, we take in member creations. They submit them. We feature them, and we talk about them. And you know that I will always make it I'll always make it a fun time when it comes to food. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, but hey, you should know that by the bear by now, that I make things a little crazy.
We love the bear.
And it's drama free and it's for fun. And we're going to keep it drama free and we're going to keep it for fun. And look forward to you guys all coming around. Don't be shy. If you're a cook, amateur cook, whatever you create, send us some photos to our email, cookingafterdark1@gmail.com. We're more than happy to feature them and bring them in. And I can share my journey of air fryer cooking. Is it really all it's cracked up to be? So far, it hasn't let me down.
Yeah, I need to learn some more air fryer tricks.
Oh, God, yeah.
Thank you
It's
so
all
much,
good.
JC.
Thanks for having me. You know I always appreciate it. I may not see you on your live, but I usually watch the replay. And Shoeless, always a pleasure. Try and heal from your knee. Don't be going crazy at any more soccer matches or Aussie rules football.
Nah, won't be
Just
doing a thing.
yell. Just yell. Don't be jumping up and down.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
don't forget, if you see this on the replay, like, subscribe, and share, dear Dana. It's always fun here. Always a pleasure.
Next time we'll have more questions for the guys. I guess it's just because it's holiday weekend that we were slow tonight. But I appreciate everybody anyway.
Oh yeah, well, my holiday weekend was last weekend, so I totally get it. Trust me, I get it. We had Victoria Day weekend, so we were bopping around there. But enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Send in your barbecue recipes. It's always fun to see from anywhere around the world. Love yous all. And big bear hugs to everybody. Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. Well, alrighty then. I guess it's just us.
That's it.
Anybody have any questions to embarrass Shoeless Steve before we start wrapping up? This is usually a night to embarrass the guys and make
Yeah, it hasn't happened. I've done it right.
walk their journeys, but since it was kind of slow tonight, I was having to poke and prod a little bit, and I figured we'd go into the Johnny and Amber thing, because I was like, where is everybody? Must be because it's holiday weekend. Hey,
Oh, geez, yeah. Shelley's had a whole week to prepare to embarrass me, and she hasn't done it. I'm impressed.
I know she's been sick.
I know.
I feel so bad for her.
I'm safe for another month.
She's had the C word.
Yeah, she has had the C word. Hope you're feeling better, my friend.
I know. Plenty of fluids, plenty of rest. And you too, Mr. Steve, Mr. Shoeless Steve. And I'm on pins and needles about the comeback of this case. And I'm fighting my own battle, trying to get ready to take that exam. You have to jump so many hoops to get it done. It's unbelievable. It's not like, oh, I'm going to sign up for the exam to go take it. No, it's not like that. You have to get all these signatures and all this other crap. So I'm doing that so I can get ready to study so I can take it.
Well, now that the case has come to a sort of a closure, it'll just give you a bit more time to refresh quicker.
For what?
It'll allow you to refresh yourself a bit faster now that you don't have the court case to watch every day.
Yeah, and then I can just study my brains out.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Virginia Wolf has a question for you. What
Okay.
are a few Australian cuisine meals?
Australian. See, that's a real good one because we're so multicultural here that we don't have anything that stands out as really being Australian, I suppose. I'm probably going to take a bit of a smack over the head by a few of my mates for that one. But like pavlova, well, that's from New Zealand, but Australians claim it as their own. We love barbecuing here, same as in Canada. Give someone a coal, charcoal sort of barbecue, and you can chuck anything on it: snaggers, steak, fish, emu, crocodile. Yeah. We like we're probably the only. I think we're the only country on the planet that'll eat the two animals that's on their actual crest. So people will cook kangaroo, cook emu.
Oh no, you cook kangaroo?
Yeah. So,
what does it taste like?
Well, it's very gamey. So some people are like, when you talk about people talk about goats and stuff like that, they're a very gamey meat. So kangaroo is very gamey, very strong, a very strong flavoured meat, but cooked really well. You've got to generally got to boil it first before you can actually cook it up. But when it's done right, it's really flavoursome. Crocodile is amazing.
People cook gator in Florida, but I've never tasted it.
Yeah. So so crocodile, an amazing taste. You
What's
go
it
up
taste?
north.
What's it
very
close to tasting like?
chicken.
Okay. Chicken.
Just obviously it's sea based, so obviously it's just a different flavour, but its texture is very very chicken, I suppose. Look, over here, a lot of people go crazy for their savouries and sweets and stuff like that. So there's just so many different things that I suppose we like to enjoy. But as I said though, since the Goldfield Rush, we've had every nationality's been here. So you've had from Italian to Chinese, Vietnamese, you name it, it's all here. So I suppose we don't really. I just don't think there's anything that's that I can inspire you with on that one, Virginia. It's apart from the obvious, the actual meats and stuff, barramundi. If you ever get the chance to have barramundi, OMG, such a beautiful fish.
What is it?
It's a whopping big fish like this here, and it lives basically in the Mulgraves up north of Australia, just a really beautiful fish to actually eat.
It's a fish.
So saying that though, I've been coming off a lot of meat over the last probably 10-12 weeks. So I won't say I'm heading towards vegan, but I'm definitely cutting out a lot of meat products now.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, sort of made a decision that every animal on the planet obviously has feelings, and I'm struggling with the case of that. I'm contributing to animals being killed. So it's a bit of a process that I'm just going through at this current stage of my life.
Very good. Shelley says, what is your beauty routine?
Oh dear. No. I have not had a proper shave in 4 years. So I've got a clipper that I use probably once a month. So I go all hillbilly for a while and get a full red beard happening. And then once a month I will clipper it. It's normally a couple of days before coming on here. I then sit there and get the clipper and try to get rid of as many grey hairs as I can. Cut off half the eyebrows because they go like this. As I said, use Dove soap for my shampoo and conditioner. That's about it, mate. There's nothing else I can share than that. You know, when I get really stranded, you know, shave off the hairs off the legs for operations. And that's about me.
Love it. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
you did. Good job, mate.
I love that laugh when it came out. That was everything. Oh, you made me snort. Thank you for that, Shelley.
That was awesome. I'm glad. It looks like Jenny's disappeared because she would have had me read about 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah. Did she ask anything? I saw her when we were talking.
Yeah, she disappeared pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I thought she was going to hang around tonight.
It was like, hello, goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, it's yes. Thank you, Shelley. We'll talk later.
Yeah, he's probably gonna go, I'll get you back.
Yeah. So Rita and Leanne have gone quiet as well now. So
I loved it. See, that's what the channel's usually like. Thank you, Shelley Marie. We had to get a good one in there.
So yeah, so no, it's one of those things like the like Australian stuff in general. You know, we're not very cultured over here. We're not very cultured.
We're not very cultured over here.
You know, it's like trying to get me to put on a pair of shoes to go to a restaurant is enough of a challenge, let alone anything else. So
he's been trying to teach me how to talk like an Aussie. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you're working on it.
I'm
you just got to
trying to do
remember
it.
when it comes to talking Australian, is that you just put all your words all together. You don't take a breath, and everything's all good.
You throw them together and you make them sound like a
we
question every
don't-
time you finish talking.
You know, you speak English, and you're meant to take a break in between some of your words. But in Australia, it's like, mate, what do you think? What are we going to do? What's going on? What are we going to do?
But I
Everyone
figure
just doing it all together.
I'll be talking to you later, so we don't have to talk all the time right now.
Yeah, and with blokes, a lot of blokes get their names changed. There's always an O on the end. So Steve-O is a very common one. You know, everyone shortens their name. There's like so many different ways that you can call somebody. And if you get really stranded and you're walking down the street and you forgot someone's name, mate, it's acceptable.
And I learned my name goes from Dana to Donna.
Dana, that's it, exactly.
Well, anyway, guys, I guess we'll start wrapping up.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I got to see JC Bear and Shoeless One, and we'll find more of a guys panel, and we'll start embarrassing the heck out of all of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, maybe one of those days might come up.
We'll get our questions ready for the next time. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to see Shelley and Rita and all these lovely gals, Anne, and of course Virginia Woolf. You're going to have to get brave. Dude, you're going to have to get brave and come up on the panel because I know you can do it. Are you afraid?
Absolutely.
Are you afraid? Come on, Virginia Woolf. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? Nobody. That's part of your name, dude. Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf? But anyway, I love you all so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please.
Tell your
Please.
friends about this awesome channel.
Yeah, because we are open to doing different things. It is a no-hate zone. Your vibe attracts your tribe. help us grow. Do all the YouTubey things. Please hit the subscribe. Share us out. It is time to blossom and bloom. And if you have things that you would like to hear about, if you would like for us to talk about, whether it's psychological, spiritual, social commentary, among other things, and if you'd like just to embarrass men.
Yeah, just embarrass us. That's what we're here for. That's our job, you know.
To hear what they really think, hear their opinions. Seriously.
You know, I might just embarrass myself, you know. That's nothing unusual.
They really come up so we can hear how they think, hear their opinions, so we can ask the real questions. Seriously.
And it is. It's the truth. We started this off just thinking, you know what? Obviously, there's that Venus Mars thing. You know, we think, well, we do. There's so many of us that think so differently from, you know, from male to female. And it's just a really safe environment just for someone to throw something out there like, heck, I'm going to go bright red, guaranteed. Some of the questions I've been asked over the last 4 months now, I think we've been doing this. Some people, Shelly knows how to get me to go bright red. But the point is that, hey, look, you don't ask, you don't get. If we can't turn around and just be candid and honest and just be ourselves. What's it all about?
Yeah.
Just be us.
So I would like the guys panel to really actually grow, to tell the truth.
Absolutely.
So any of you guys watching in the bushes, please feel free to join the panel. Don't be scared. You know, I'd like it to grow a little bit and just like Sheila's take over on this night if she gets brave enough.
Yeah. She doesn't bite hard.
But anyway, I love you all so much. You gotta tell your friends about the channel. Please subscribe. It costs you nothing. It doesn't make any new things pop up on here. It just gives this channel more eyeballs. You know what I mean? I would greatly appreciate it. I love you so much. I will see you on Wednesday. Those watching the replay, drop your comments below. And everyone
leave comments for us. Leave things for us to talk about the next time if you can't make it for the next one.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And everybody have a safe, wonderful weekend. Love you all. Thank you, Steve.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody. And
see you guys.
Here we go. Dun, 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 dun.